So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do. Hey, what's up,
Welcome.
Thabethe?
Bafowethu, bokapadia.
Kunjani? Kunjani
Abantu
kapadia?
kade bek-anticipate abethi yes.
Godman we-industry.
Usula.
No, bengithi ngiyangivala bafowethu. Hey, ngiyangivala. So ngithi ayithi isikhathi.
Oh, bozovala thina wena uca usiyavaleka.
No, nina benithi mina xa uthi ngivala mina.
Hayi.
Bakhuluma abantu bathi hey ubuxoli Thabethe sathi ayi well athi simlando uxoli
kuvele kwaphuma iposter kwashisa phansi
ngoba uxoli uthenga abantu bakhe ukuthi asimfone hey uthi anitshele abantu ukuthi ngifuna mina lapha ku drum catalyst. How's everything brother?
No, si strong madoda ku right sisabhekile nje ukuthi khambani mara ke simnandi le
saphila ingane nomndeni
abaphila mfethu kunohlala ePhoenix ne uhlala lapha ePhoenix.
Wow.
Ngagcina uhlala ePhoenix angazi uhlala.
Ngathi ngimbonile kancane lapha endabeni lapho.
Ngathi ngikubona ukuthi nje
ngimbona phunyuka lapha esandleni esinzima.
Nesagile.
Phoenix bagijimisa ukuthi
ngimbona ngathi nje
I escape.
Siza umalebe.
No, yizo man. Lalela, I think asivele siqaleni madoda ngoba I think namhlanje sinento eziningi, we've got a lot to cover. You know, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that want to Xoli here. But before I speak to him, if you're watching, please make sure that you like the page, you subscribe, you do everything that we do here on Facebook. If you're watching from YouTube, subscribe, Facebook, like, also share, man. Yes, there's a lot of people that might be needing. And follow Xoli Thabethe. He'll give us all his handles, before Slugana la namhlanje. But yeah, for the few people who don't know who Xoli Thabethe is, my brother, uzothi wena uba. Ngiyazi le question abantu abaningi yabathayida, mara I mean, just do your best, bro.
Bayiphendula ngendlela engafani.
No, mfana iyathayida yona le question.
Sithengise mfethu ukuthi Xoli Thabethe umuntu onebusiness mangabe uyakhula.
Owner ama-taxi bafowethu.
Ufana ama-keyboard.
Yes, Thabethe. Awungayivali le nto yakho mfethu right nayo. Idrill yakho busy uxoli construction company. So ubhizi kuloko kuyadrillwa lapha ngase.
Yabo, side hustle.
Uzamuvala i-side hustle bafethu niyazi bekuvaliwe ama-gigs angekho. So it's fine man. Just tell us asinandaba nomsindo siyawufuna. So Xoli Thabethe.
Yeah, so bafethu I don't know. I think a lot of people are calling me different things. So I consider myself just as a musician, a music producer, a music director, a family man who's got one wife and three boys. Yeah,
importantly protocol. So boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Kilo 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Xoli Thabethe is just a music producer and someone who's just there to bridge the gap, between the young ones and the older ones and the ones that are dreaming. I'm the one that makes the ones that dream.
Yeah,
my dreams are coming through.
Wow.
So
you're like Santa Claus.
I'm saying, yeah.
You're a musical Santa.
Santa Claus.
So manje Thabethe, your childhood yakho beyinjani? How was your childhood? I mean, ukhule kanjani? How was bonjani izintwana nje?
Look, I'll tell you now. I think I must say that I had an amazing childhood life. 90% in church. Okay, let me say 70% in church, 20% in.
Now, I do right.
No, I think I'm 70. So,
yeah.
When I was I mean, the other 10, I'm always on the road playing. I mean, the other 20. The other 10 futhi sesikolweni, I'm probably walking from home to school because it was a long distance. But I think my childhood life was amazing because music every day. So if I were to relate my childhood life, man, it was related to music. That's all I did from young age, from 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what I was doing,
And what were your musical references then when you were a child? Because Siyabuso, right, at this point.
Yeah.
Are there other musicians that you are seeing that are doing amazing things from where you are?
Okay, let me give you a full background in a short space of time. So my family and my cousins and other families that are related to us, my cousins and all of that, we were churching at the same church called Faith Mission, which was more like one of the biggest churches in Siyabuso. There were a few big churches besides it, but we were the ones that were involved in the music. My family were the ones who were singing. I started playing my drums there. I was the only drummer in Siyabuso for a long while. So my references, one was the music that we were singing in church. 2 would be your radios, your other stuff that was playing around, obviously, your Mnandwenis, your all the American stuff that was there, Jimmy Sogat and all of that. But for South African, obviously, Joyous crept in as we were growing, but my references was the music that we created in my church, because we were hectic musically, but pretty much, Americans were that's what we were listening to.
But Ulbonagban when it drum. Who's like, I mean, you're the first one, Siyabuso, to play drums.
Who drum church?
But it's silungise before bang drill. I said in the gospel space, I was the first drummer in Siyabuso.
Okay.
Because I remember there were older reggae bands that were there, but abantu singabazi nakhona mhlawumbe 2, 3.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying that, my first drum kit that I bought it from a reggae guy the guy was playing reggae in Siyabuso.
Okay.
So, but pretty much in the church, I was the first drummer. I was the first drummer in the church. And then the second guy was Mbongeni. He sings with Tswane, gospel Tswane. So, but I was the one Gakulu was as a drummer. And in reference, obviously at that time, I'm listening to, I think when I started, I don't remember how I started drums actually, but that was my first instrument. I don't remember who I was checking at the time when I started, but I know that probably 2-3 years later, and then Joyous came in. So I was listening to Wazi, and then, now I remember a bit. It was actually. I was listening to, remember Hip-Hop TV?
Yeah.
It was actually because I remember during the day, Mangwe School, and they would play, Hip-Hop TV. They used to play Stimela the whole day.
Yeah.
I think they recorded live State Theater or something back in the days. So that's what they used to play. That's what they used to play during school hours. So Mangwe School and Mina, and I mean being from the right opposite. School is opposite and Sidling Mina. So in your jump and get school in your so on lunch, Pop TV is playing. So that's what I used to listen to. But obviously, then fast forward, one get about your ass, one get about Kansas, but exposed to other things that were playing. I mean, that's when about gospel gold started, early days.
All right.
What age group is this? You being a drummer.
Okay, so when I started, I used to have a drum kit at the back of the house, right at the corner of the house, which was made out of a box. The base drum yami was a box, and then I had a Martin, the 5 liter, not the 5 liter, the 5 liter, not the 20, the 5 liter, 5 liter your paint.
Yeah,
I had 3 of those. I had, you remember the Prama stove being at in a plate.
Yes.
So that was,
hi-hats.
I used to have, we hi-hats and a cymbal at the same time,
Yeah.
And I'm a Tom's one, I would be
That's creative.
I'm a Tom's one, but with fans was
okay.
Okay. Yeah, so it plays drum and pedal. So it plays drum who left,
okay.
Right.
Oh.
Same time, wherever lang lend the corner to the kick. that would be the bass drum. So that's where I started. So I'm a drums wanting later.
Okay.
Way later. Yeah.
When I born gaki.
I was
That was the question.
yeah.
I was 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere 6, 7, 6.
And then you got introduced to the actual kit when you are when you bought your kit.
Yeah, I know that was later. I was probably
Church bengeke kids.
14. No, drum kit being a son.
So who was sponsoring son?
Oh, but should by saying it's 18 age.
So what happened was,
the music.
yeah, look, esiyabuso general nje emasontweni bebangayifuni drum kit.
Okay.
Yeah, bebangafuna ama drums. I mean, fit machine yami was that critical one where no earrings, no pens, stuff like that.
Lalela ngikhulele faith machine nami.
Yeah, so drums allowed drums umsindo.
Into zikaSathane.
Into zikaSathane.
Lalela school.
At that time, just before I started playing drums, I used to play drums near Doctor. There's something we call Doctor Machine, it's like a drum machine.
Yes.
Like I'm an MPC now.
Yes.
So ours was quite small, so I could hold it and play drums there. Especially worship songs, I would play them, ngezandla, and then I would chorus, and then would put a drum pattern.
Okay.
Throughout, So when we bought drums, I think I was around 12, 13. Nakhona ngithengela i-old lady lami ne-cousin yami. So i-cousin yami ngipha 600, i-old lady lafaka 400. Lo mshla wamthengisela nge-1,000 i-drum kit.
Nice.
It was a maroon.
Yeah.
It was a navy drum kit. I think I still have the pictures. I'll give you those pictures and then you fly them so you can see.
Please,
them.
my brother. Yeah, please.
So,
yeah, I'm sure they have those big toms.
Yeah, no, it was
huge.
Thunder.
Yeah, thunder.
The way thunder. So.
Oh, it thunder.
The way thunder. R1,000. And then obviously I ngadlala. So I'll the first Sunday I excited. Hey, what is this now? But by I following week third week I think complaining on scene what is loud. So finally phansi ongidlala nje only ngesikhathi ama-chorus kuphela yabo.
Yeah, it was worship uthule.
Worship uthule yabo, but it was a journey until now they got used to it, until they got used to it. Then later the church nalo athenga labo drum kit which was a pearl semkhulile ke manje sesikwazi ukuzaba toms sithenga izinto ngapha and go back, But I think it was around 12, 13 that's when I introduced the drum in the church.
So you were part of a revolution. Jump in, Leroy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So I guess we were part of that revolution, my man.
Yeah.
Faith machine lapha baqala ukuzidrum ngami.
Oh,
so I know where you're coming from.
I see, my daughter. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a trendsetter, my daughter.
Uthando le piano and keyboard laqala nini, since we should say 90% of your time you were in the music thing, because esontweni that's all you did. I'm sure if bekhona inkonzo zomama you were there, abantu abasha you're there, so you didn't have much time yokuthi udlale and transition from a drum to a piano iqala nini?
No, look, I think both of I would say that in a piano because I'm a keyboards bekhona endlini vele. My cousins.
Oh, nama keyboard.
I'm a keyboards dala khona vele. So in keyboard because right next door ngamamkhulu they had my keyboards, my Technics. There's Technics 5000, KN 5000, KN 1000, KN 1000, KN 720, my 520, my 750. So keyboards were there. Even Gambaluma Menzans, there were keyboards. DX7s and all of that, So keyboards is something at the corner. So I was used to a DX7 and a DX21 at a young age.
Imagine.
K-Show has always been there. So my keyboards basic when it's just with manje it wasn't a thing. Bengifuna ukrock nami ngibe nento yami ngivele ngiyi-one. Ngoba ku-keyboard manje fanele simi line ngomunye usadlala yabo usadlala i-chorus then nami ngizodlala i-next chorus yabo le nto enjalo.
Kune-traffic.
Yeah, going to traffic. Like, so traffic.
But let traffic taxis because I'm sure there's no time to change. Transpose. Okay.
Yeah, sure. No, transposer was the theme, my brother.
Yeah, it's main. It's part of the gig.
It transposer we sound actually.
Yeah.
Transposer
But we sound.
I was watching sound.
Yeah.
Sound.
Man, yeah, it's
part of the gig, man.
Part of the settings, yeah.
X7 is cool. I get.
X7 was but most likely X7 transposer they corner, but it was hard to find it. So obviously,
yeah.
So funda my keys. But I mean, back then, besides my key you know, definitely one would land on an F sharp, one would land on an A flat, B flat, C sharp. But range uthola umuntu acula D, but umuntu uyaqala uqala ku D or C, yabo. I think bese bayazi nje nendlebe yakho ukuthi vele thina sihlala kula makhila wa anje. And akhona futhi ezinye izinto besiqale thina ingoma before.
Bona bangena.
Yeah, umuntu angaqali.
Uyamloka.
Kade sasimaropa.
Yeah, I got the ropa masingazi. Singama ingene uyazi ukuthi keep phezulu avela aculi alto angaculi melody. Yeah. Avela aculi harmony yalento uyayibona ukuthi play keep phezulu.
Yeah, uqala key umoshi into eyiningi. Umoshana la makhotha ngorezile the whole week, yabo.
Yeah, sure. I was saying yesterday when I was doing that live on Facebook, hey, you know, because I was trying to think back to how did we meet? I was like, no man, when I first met Xoli, he was a singer, you know, Bochola no Mahalia, and I think I had a crush also. Mahalia. So now I'm looking at this guy.
We're here for those files.
I'm like, yes. Now so I'm like, this guy irritates me. One would look two, we are 2 or 3, we drum, 4 I'm like, yes, this guy is just I'm like, only. I mean, I'm like, hey, no, but it was very funny, just thinking back. But I think I wanted us to talk about now your transition. And then I'll give it over to Leroy again. So now, Siyabuso, how do you come to Johannesburg?
Okay, so in Jozi, it happens, I think, when I was doing standard. So I was doing standard 10.
Grade 12.
Yeah, which was grade 12 at the time.
Still is.
No, standard 10.
Yeah, still grade 12.
No, sorry, not grade 12.
Form 1.
Yeah, form
1. No, standard 9.
Okay.
So now when we grew up, we had a group. We C3. XTX. So when we started around that time, so Tina, but we age group it, our 14, 15 age. And then from there, which now we a group, we busy GPTL, so we were the big groups there. So now, so Masuga Lapo, then we decided to one of our friends who was our elder at the time. He used to come to Fosloras. He had my friends at the Fosloras. So, and then he says, "No man, look guys, let's go to Fosloras. I normally visit Pastor Benjamin Duer's church in Denjalo when I'm there. So can we go there and sing? But no, it's fine. If you can make it happen, just make it happen." So So then we came and sang at his church. So after singing something like then obviously we were there just to sing and obviously pitch. Recordings or whatever. So obviously then we choose a group yet. And I think was strategic because we were younger as well. So I choose a team and then I was no man, come through guys. And I'm saying what to score. I want to start at 9. What's going to happen after grade 12. So then we do that. We sing at his church. He chooses us, and then guys, I'm going to show. I'm doing Spirit of High Explosion.
Okay, yeah. I remember.
I'm doing Hyper's Explosion 1. So we record the studio, we produce home jakes or something like that. But no, come through and then so in the launch told him in so based on launch on Johannesburg. So then we came.
I'm a half chase.
Yeah, so then we came but then I think I think the music thing is what I'm going to do. Because that's when I got exposed to Abu Doctor, Abu Lucha, Lundi, Temba at the time. So I knew then with that, I think the music Bamba. That was the time then I came to foster us. Then the rest, it's when I meet you guys later. But I think my questions for me.
Yeah. For you to unpack.
That's how I got to Joburg. So obviously I came, I think I was doing Standard 9 at the time. Then we did that launch. I went back home. And then I think we came back for another gig or something like that. Nabuyela. And then I caught my exams, got grade 9, got grade 11, and then mangenzo to 10, I caught a bit. I think Nabuya June or something like that. Mankat and grade 12. That's when I decided I'm coming here full time. Yeah.
And how was this transition?
Okay.
Because I know from some of the things that we're discussing, you'd speak about how tricky and heavy and hard the whole process of you now coming to Johannesburg as a young boy, but I think I'd like for us to unpack, coming here as a young boy.
Look, I think my background is not different to other people as well. Kulse Umamwe one, Begawan Mistress, C3, 3 boys, heavily in debt. Then I want to go to school. I am sure about the music thing, but I'm not sure how it works. We don't have money for school. And me frequenting back then means that I'm a choir rehearsals, what's going on? Where can I go study and all of that? We go and inquire, the school fees is quite high. So the way issue with if I can just get him a local register, I was so persistent in if I can just get him a school, I feel like everything will just align itself. So obviously then I ask for Imali already, we pay for registration in CJC. When I leave Joburg, I'm leaving with just 2 bags. I'm leaving with one bag and 1 box. One bag had my clothes. The box had bread just for those few days, had tin stuff, had the oros, sugar and rooibos, that's all I had. And at that time, I had already arranged with Domsan. You remember Domsan? I've already arranged with him with Ishman because I room in sprayed view, just in Geleze for some time. And I think at the time they got something, at the time they were seeing something in me. So I'm favored. No, come through, stay with me. It was a builder from there. So I leave, I come to Rumini, that's all I have. And then obviously Bishop they offer to take care of maybe my transportation, just some allowance. Well, manje and side these allowance I say busy to develop hall or so doing. Allowance. You are here every Sunday, you are singing and all of that. Here's some money just for you to push a scale. So at that time, the women, I think it was probably like 1,000 rands or even less actually, or 500. So then I come to Joburg for the school thing. School fees. I ended up studying for 3 years without paying school fees. I don't know how, and I used to get my reports and everything. I don't know how that happened. In case Mkambi was fraud.
Come back food. But that guy owes us.
For 3 years.
So
Sorry to cut you off. Manje
Yeah,
ngithi mina explain kanjani kuma old lady le ndaba ukuthi wena ufuna ukwenza music. Ama returns akhona thini and what guarantee does she have ukuthi this is the right thing?
I think what I appreciated more about my mom is that I think they saw the gift, they supported the gift. The fact that she managed to raise that money, I mean, $400 was a lot of money back then for her too. No, in fact, I think she gave me 600. I mean, to raise that money for Uting drum kit, she really believed in what I wanted to do. And as I'm being that, no, go and be a doctor, go do this. Yeah, well, we never discussed those things. Well, I never.
Oh, so you call it like a good drum kids. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Do you really believe, do you really believe in this thing? Do you really want to do this thing? Just go do what makes you happy, you know. So was, I never had that problem. I came here, they believed in me, they supported me, she sent me some money whenever she could, you know. They checked on me, written right and all of that. So it wasn't, I never had those problems that maybe other people are having. They supported me fully. So Nami, obviously, when I come here, then I want to make sure that I don't disappoint them. I want this thing to work. And I mean, my start was very high. I mean, coming here and work with Benjamin Dube is like a huge thing. It's not like, he's not an upcoming. At that time, he's the biggest thing. Huge.
Yeah.
So where I started, it was quite high. So
there's a story you told me a while back. I can't really remember, but you're saying, okay, so you went to Kamfundisi Benjamin Dube, but there was a time I think you mentioned how he spotted you when I don't know what they came to do, Siabuso.
Yes.
There was can you tell us that story a little bit? You know, where that relationship kind of solidified.
Yeah, I think that time I'm doing grade 12. I'm doing grade 12. We are frequenting more now, visiting the church. Nayasbi is a former gigs to come and sing. And then we were featured in the album, High Praise Explosion 2. So then the guy that took us to his church, he was a pastor. So then he decided, no, he wants to start a High Praise branch in Siabuso.
Okay.
So then, obviously, then Max of Vuli branch, then Naimfundisi wants to come and obviously Vuli branch, because a conference the whole week. So obviously, he had problems. I'm a keyboard player, so doing that kind of thing. So Elwin was just there for his gigs, not for the church.
Yeah. So
then Max went to the conference. They knew me as a singer, but they didn't know that I played. He never saw me play keyboards. No, I mean, the color.
Guy.
I mean, the Elwin. I mean,
the color cool. It's another
level. From a distance.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
So, but obviously, Joylene at the time. So, to a Norman, look, I'm opening a branch in Siabuso, so I would need you to be there as well and sing and play and sing actually in the church. Yeah, well. And then now who do you know that plays keyboards there that we can part of the church? So obviously there were a few guys that were there. I never thought I was going to join, but I knew he's on Bamba Vereland because man, you must remember Angse Faith and it's a family church, it's our church because Sazwala. So when then Magazovula branch into Kali conference, then I decided to help out during the conference. I mean, it was the biggest conference because with Benjamin Dube is coming in Siabuso the whole week. He's here for the conference, and people were driving from Middleburg just to come for this conference. So when they come a week before, when he comes a week before to start our results and see who is then keyboard, keyboard player, now keyboard is set up. Keyboard. No, let's play the songs. So then Babus would say, which song do you know? I know all the songs. So he's looking at me like, I got my chance when. Just call them out. So intentional, I think he was testing me. Then he calls for Jehovah, we praise you. I was like, I come here, I'm a
Wait.
man. And you must remember which job we praise you has a key change.
Yes,
right? As a key change.
So you must be quick.
No, Leo key change you shine a transposer, mean.
Oh,
Balas.
All those quickly.
Yeah.
So when I started the intro playing, everyone was shocked. I mean, I'm talking Bongi Damens, Sarah Bongi Damens Manje. Tutuma was there. Nondomi, so the one who passed away, she was there. There was Utemba was there. Tepo, couple of guys were there. When I started playing the song, they were shocked. I played it exactly as Sika played it. I was like, no, this is how the plays it goes. And we went. Must feel okay changing. What about
wait. Yeah.
So I think then that's when our relationship, my relationship with him started right there. We bonded right there in a conference. And immediately from there, the issue with no, dude, you must come up. So obviously, man, then moved.
So we would say,
jump in.
Oh, sorry. So we would say, Benjamin Dube is the gig that put you out there.
He found me. I'm sure
Yes.
discovered. I was discovered. That was fun. Yes. Discovered me. So in danger. So, but look, that's where my career started. He's the one that shaped my music.
That nurtured your entire vibe. Yes. But now, Gananaji. I want us to talk about, because the more Kulma is, the more I'm realizing the power of having, the power of the church and what the church has done in contributing, not just to your life, but to, I think, all of our lives sitting.
All of us.
They are sitting on this call. What do you think young people right now should actually be doing to work with the church and also the church? A musician to the church, their responsibility and the responsibility of the church to the young musician. What do you think, our responsibilities should be to each other, just to make sure that this culture carries on, because I think church has done so much for so many musicians, actually for the whole music industry in South Africa. I think arts and culture should actually fund churches, because churches really are the educational platform for most musicians, So, but I want to understand, Wuti, what do you think? Because it feels like now and again there's like an animosity between musicians and the church, which should really not be there, because we are helping each other. And through history and your story right now, we're seeing again that this is a testament of how the church has been instrumental in where you are right now. So what can we say to younger musicians to say, well, no, maybe don't hate the church, find the way to, but yeah, my question, just to summarize it, I've said a lot of things, but just to summarize it. Just to summarize it.
I'm also not sure whether I'll be able to answer it correctly or in full, but I think you will just pick up the things, what I'm trying to say, Look, I think the issue that the problem that I see now happening is that, let me not start with the problem. Let me just say all musicians for their personal development, besides YouTube, you need a church.
Yeah.
Because that's where you do your practicals. That's where you actually do your practicals. That's where you
great platform.
That's where you perform. That's where you do all of that. That's where you can sharpen your gift. YouTube is just for development and whatnot. But the problem that I'm seeing is that most of these young kids, they are spending times with the older ones who feel the church should pay them. So you find now that most of these young guys, they don't want to go to church because they're talking money now. No, I need to be paid to play in a church. Whereas they're not seeing with actually their development and him being good, or whoever, he or she being good, it relies on them being at church. So I just wish that musicians can take the church thing serious, because that's where most of us were discovered. And that's where most of us sharpened our, musicality. And obviously, the church, I think the church, what they can do is to take care of the musicians that now are relying on music. But I just feel like if no mama na yonke leyo, we shouldn't be talking monies and all of that, unless vele udinga Caesar, you really need to help, at home. But I just feel right now a musician should be excited when if they get a chance to play in the church where they need a keyboard player or a drummer or whatever. Because that's where you can sharpen your gift and you guys can be tight and work on it. And most artists will come to the church to market. So we'll discover you.
Exactly.
If it's your turn, the turn will come. We will find you there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna find you a church.
Yes. So it's amazing what you're saying. I'm going to give it over to Leroy right now, but it's amazing what you're saying in the sense that people are not aware that actually at church, this is one where you are going to be working with other musicians. Yes. It's not like you at home practicing by yourself. You are busy trying to find this. No, a church is an opportunity and a live opportunity where you are now, somebody's going to start this thing. Sometimes they're starting a song, you don't know. Now you're playing with musicians. Now you're learning what it is to be there on time, there on time, actual services and all of those things. But the point you're making, Yoguti, the actual musicians that must discover you are going to come to your church to market.
We're not going to come to your rehearsal.
So for your garage.
Yeah. Yeah, something like Rafi.
I'm a garage band.
I'm a garage band. Garage band. What's your take on empowering young musicians? Or take your role of being that prominent pianist or drummer in the music industry?
Look, I'm up for that. I mean, even now we did our show, which was a producer's talk. I mean, it was all about empowering, right? I don't mind going back home and do a workshop or do whatever, even if it means I'm doing it for free. It doesn't matter to me. I'm up for that. I'm ready to do that. My only challenge that I'm picking up sometimes when I go to these, I'm not going to say rural areas, man. I say my hometowns. I feel like because I practice because of YouTube, but I just feel like there's always this thing. You'd find 2 or 3 that are really excited to see you, that are really excited to hear you speak or play something, or show them anything. But there's this trend of arrogance and thinking that no, I think I play better than him now. Even if he comes here, I shouldn't listen to him. Bese umuntu umbonisa into eyi-1 angayizwa. Bese kuba ngathi you are attacking. No, that chord is wrong. You are putting a sass there and they're singing something else there. Well, I just feel like mini generation yamanje because of I don't know because of what.
It's availability of info.
But I feel like there is a bit of
an arrogance.
Arrogance is creeping up. But
so that will hinder.
That will hinder now.
Plugging them in.
Yeah, me looking forward to go there or whatnot. But I know that I've got a lot of cats who are still inboxing on Producers Talk, even on my personal inboxes, who are asking about stuff. The other day I had another one who was asking me about a keyboard with the sound. I couldn't in. I had to check it out. You'll find it, So I was texting him with how far is he willing to, because it's right in front of him. I'm just saying that I've got a lot of people who are still calling and asking how can they do 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. No, so I'm for that. I'm for that. You developer, I'm all about that. Even now, even the ones that think they know here in the music industry in Gauteng, the Producers Talk is actually for them. But arrogance again is creeping in to say, no, we know what they're talking about. We don't need to listen to that.
And it's interesting how younger musicians, and I don't think we are too immune. It's just that I think our generation had a sense of honoring, the people that were before us. I think because we didn't have YouTube. So when we got information, we got it in dribs and drabs, but we knew. For example, right now, I till this day honor Themba Masina because he was my reference, before I could see other, and Abogwas. So we grew up like that, honoring the people before us because they were our YouTube, But now I think the misconception that comes with YouTube is misleading because you're thinking that you are going to be sufficient with just YouTube, and YouTube is giving you tools, but you might not know how to, actually use it for your context. Because now you have a different context to Calvin Rogers, who's showing you a feel. Now if you have to go play a South African vibe and you bring Calvin, and it fits. But we might be sitting here and be saying, hey bro, but context is wrong.
Language.
Just to cut you a bit. I think that's why angithanda ukuyikhuluma lento on honoring the ones that
came before.
That came before and introduced us to things. I think angithanda we raise a call discussion because every time when I say it, it feels like Ngati, I want people to honor me.
Okay.
They should honor me because.
But it's a principle
too. But I'm saying when I came in, let me just say when I came in. I know me and Sandile and some of my close friends. I mean, we respected Doctor, we respected Elwin, we respected Sithe. Okay, well, we respected Mtunzi. These are the people that really, showed us things. But so there isn't that thing. That's why I need to go manager. That's why then you find other people are competing, are trying to compete with me or you. Trying to say no, I can do this better. And I'm like, hey, dude, you're missing the point here.
Yeah.
You're missing the point there.
It's because I think the whole thing is just giving people time. Giving people time to go figure out. Actually, because
the food must have a poster. Page up.
Yeah.
Calling into a post, esingayibonisa ukuthi abanye aba-arrogant la kuma-inboxes.
But humble.
How can you give me a gig? Okay, hey.
I
saw your post.
Kade ngifuna ukuya lapho ke asiyeni lapho ke kade ngifuna ukuya lapho plugging them in manje ke kwenzakalani ke lapho ke in terms of calling these young cats in doing big productions, something like a TV thing. Okay, like example, Lama Metros. Why do you have to see the same people? Because the little question it keeps coming up with we're seeing the same people, but there's a lot of musicians out there.
No.
Is it the same thing? What's about arrogant?
One, it's the same thing. Two, it's all about the respect that we have. So if you can check every time when they call a music director, he's gonna call whoever that he thinks is talented, and they have a good relationship, right? And then number three, my philosophy is whenever I'm looking for a bass player or a keyboard player or anything, the last person I spoke to, that's the person I'm going to call. Because I have a good relationship with that person. So why must I look for you? So I don't know how to work with you because I feel there's always this gap. But I mean, if you are good, you are good. And if you as well, your character is good. You know how to build relationships with people who normally get these gigs or get booked. Then that's why I get also booked. So most of these guys are doing metros. I know most of you is doing keyboards on most of these. One, he's very good, but two, he's a nice guy. He checks on everyone from time to time. But the part that he's good, it doesn't, he's still there. That one I must know. He's very good at what he does, but he knows how to build a relationship. Angeke ufike uqaba angikaze ngezwe umuntu uqabene nolungelo bayagijimisana ngemese or uqabene nolulu no man, you know, it's all about relationships and all of that. That's why you will always see the same people. That's why you will see all the DVDs I do, I always work with the same people because I have good relationships with them.
Yeah, no man, I think you're raising a lot of important points. You know, there was a time I thought I played like Waz. When I was very young, I was like, why are they booking Waz? I can play these gigs. Until I got a rude awakening. I was like, I don't play like Waz. All right, but we have so many questions. Okay, I'm mindful of time. So many questions that we have to run through from Facebook. I think let's just rather run through them. I'll go through the first one from Isaac Chops. Isaac, we are not okay, ask What's Rifu's question?
Yeah. What's the most important question? The most important question, when is the producer's talk coming back?
Guys, as in our producer's talk in Zimaranjan, I really can't answer that question because how producer's talk was what's the right
conceived?
Conceived. We never thought that producer's talk would be this thing that it is now. We felt we were going on a lockdown and we can't see each other. And we always have these amazing discussions that we have. I mean, if you can see Magunami, Ulebu, Joseph, Ululu, when he's there, Guno Kamalapo, or whoever is there, the discussions that
it's going down.
Yes, we feel like this is hectic content that most
must be
documented. Yes. So the plan was that we were just going to do like this Facebook thing and seize totality and just talk about whatever we want to talk to, but not obviously responding to people's questions and all of that. It was just going to say, hey man, let's talk about this thing. And then you guys would listen and take whatever you guys want to take. So we never had a plan with, this thing must go like this. This is, we must stick to 45 minutes, talk, take questions. It was not a production. It was never a production. This thing was us sharing the information, talk about the gig, explain the whole gig, and then whoever decides to ask a question, then we'll just answer the question. So now when it started, it took a different turn. Then obviously it was an issue of saying, okay, guys, what do we do? Do we do the second one or what's going to happen here? Then the inboxes were really, really, really buzzing. So then obviously we starting to trim and plan our things, plan the questions, take the questions from people and all of that. And obviously us doing the second season was like, hey, look, I think we've spoken everything that musicians, not everything obviously, but I think we've spoken enough about the musicians. Let's bring maybe artists and producers and bigger producers than us, executive producers, and just invite them to come and talk about other topics. So now, third season, we want to bring it back. We have an idea of what we want to do. We don't know when we're going to start. But I can tell you right now, as we speak today, this Saturday afternoon, the third season, my brother, is so ready. We've actually even recorded.
Oh, listen.
The first episode is recorded, but I can tell you now, I am not sure when we are going to bring it back. We are ready to talk now. We know the topic we want to talk about right now, but I think it's just us, sitting down and do this thing. And I think what happened as well, remember we advertised that we're going to do singles and stuff like that. We had a flood of projects after that. So a lot of projects, we are still finishing up some of those singles even now. So I think we will find some time and then, come back and do the show.
Okay. So the next question is from Isaac Chops. Ola Pramaduna. Hey, Munsa Pramaduna, guys. Pastor Xoli Mahlangu, during producers talk, mentioned that Xoli was brought towards the end of the preparation of Mwamba project. Please ask him about that. Please ask him about that experience. And he ended up being musical director. Yeah, so I think he wants to know more about that whole, experience of you getting to Pastor. So I think I late then.
It wasn't Mwamba. It was the first project, the first DVD, Obrigado.
Okay.
I came in 3 days before the show. I was called. I only did 2 rehearsals with them.
Okay.
I only did 2 rehearsals. Look, I think Xoli used to have Pastor Xoli used to have a line, a quote that you'd rather be ready with no opportunity or have an opportunity or
and not be
finds
ready.
you and you're not ready, When they called, they found me ready. They were looking for an organ player. Someone was just come in and play organs and keyboards, actually, just keyboards. So when they called, I was ready. I went in there, listened to the music director, got the songs. I played the show. I came up with a nice melody for one of the songs, which was, a big thing. So that experience was really amazing. But for me, I was just ready for the gig. I mean, at that time, I think if Lulu, you remember, I was working with, I was working with a lot of artists at the time. I was working with Tamiso Mazwai, I was working with Mafikizolo,
yeah.
I was working with Avante, I was working with Mtunzi at the time. My weekends were hectic. At the time, my weekends were forever hectic. Every weekend I would do 4 or 5 gigs, different provinces. So when he called, Vele Umtola at that time, I love keyboards. Nyashisa na figure 14 songs, 16 songs. I was like, this is nothing. Let's do it quickly. But I was so excited. Because Xoli was there in the early days of my musician life. When I was doing my conference, I used to watch Xoli. He used to play keyboards right in front of me in my conferences. So, and when we met, it was like he didn't even remember. He remembered me because of my family, but he never remembered which I stood next to him for all those years on my conferences to watch him play. So now me playing his first DVD, I think it was a God divine thing that had to happen. I was just ready for it, and it was my appointed time. So it was an amazing thing, and everything changed after that.
That's amazing. Let's just quickly jump to the next question because there's a whole lot of them. No, but we'll rush through them. It's fine. The next one is from Tlantla Kabini. Is saying, what inspired Xoli Thabethe in pursuing music, and what are the pros and cons of that decision of Landelu music?
Look, for me, I think I've answered that, but obviously in a story to say, look, when I grew up, I was only exposed to music. It's the only thing that I truly loved. So even when I was getting closer to my grade 12, I never thought twice. I knew that I was going to do music. So I just went in, because that's what I was doing. So I won't say to you, I had to make a decision with whether I'm doing this or not.
Yeah.
It was the only thing I knew.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I wanted to do. So, I never had to make a decision and sit down and really calculate,
Yeah. And the pros and cons of that decision.
No, that's an episode, my brother. So we need another episode.
Shama highlights.
I think we need an episode. Look, I think the pros is I'm able to support my family. I'm excited about that. With the challenges that comes with that, obviously. I've traveled. I've seen the world. I've got 3 passports that are full. I've seen places I went. My gift took me to places that I never thought it would. I've done big events. I've produced big names. I've made people's dreams come through. I was the bridge to that. You know, the cons is the stress that comes with music. Could be financial, could be loneliness, could be fatigue, could be stress. I mean, there's sometimes you sit, you think, actually, maybe I'm study show by a doctor or something. You know? Maybe I'm something, but now challenges.
Yeah, nama pros and cons are
ungasika umuntu umqala ngemistake
afe angafa vele abe paralyzed lokumbona every month alokeza la kuzokubonisa ukuthi
so I'm saying I think look, it is I think every career is just amazing. It has its own
pros and cons. Okay, so we've got Sbu Maliz. Is it Machiza? I don't know. Machiza. Sbu Machiza. On Thandusa's set, is he also a BV, and the delay on his mic, is it controlled by the sound guy, or it starts on some gadgets before?
I think Umaka is talking about the gig we did with you in the TED conference.
Oh, in Tanzania.
Yeah, in Tanzania. So I'm not a backing singer at Thandusa's band. I mean, I'm just a keyboard player. He says that now, obviously, you find that there's a gig that we have to do, you know, where the BVs can't go, and then you and me end up doing some backing vocals for that gig, you know. I'm not and now you sing there. So I'm just a keyboard player there. I'm not a music director. I'm not a producer. I'm just a keyboard player.
In and out.
We are all directors there.
We're all directing. It's a funny gig, that gig. In that gig, we're all directing, we're all producing, we're all
we are all making the gig work. So that gig was just it was a feel thing. Whatever that delay that he hears, I think it was just a feel thing. If obviously I was just there to accompany her ear, you know, so that she feels that there is a bit of backing. Because I mean, if you're just a 4-piece and there's not, and that was a big gig. That was not just a, you know, it was
TED Talk. International.
It was a TED conference. It was a global one, not TEDx. You know, this was a big gig, so we had to make sure that at least it sounds amazing. Yeah.
So we've got Manda Munyai. He's asking, is Xoli a full-time musician?
I'm a full-time musician. That's all I do. Next question.
Very fast. No, I said Mangi Bona, I was like, I could answer this one, but you know, let's just wait for the man himself. And also, man, when I was doing that live, then Pastor Phil also came in, and he says, "Hey, Xoli helped me when I was frustrated one time traveling to the States. He made me a backtrack. Ah, man, Xoli out, Xoli."
No, Pasafili out here, you know. But you know, I mean, look, he had a gig. He was traveling to, I think, Chicago or Philadelphia or something.
Yeah.
So, and now he didn't have a backtracks. They're on an album. I mean, at the time. So he came to my flat at Pretoria in town when I was staying, not in town, Waterkloof. So he came to my flat there. I had to play keyboards, put organs, put bass, same time, program drums, just to do backtracks or more choruses, so that because he was going for a big conference as well.
Yeah.
And the way, I mean, at the time I didn't have a MacBook, man. I was using PC, you know. So I was using Cubase. I had to program as quick as I could. Even the backtracks, he had already checked in. He had already passed the gates. I had to drive from Pretoria. I think when I drove from Pretoria, he was arriving at the airport. I drove there to give him the CDs. Naye washiya umuntu othize eBorder Gate ukuthi ngimnika ama CDs. It was a mess, but you know, his family, man.
No, it's quite amazing. Yeah, you've always liked to help people. Especially with things like that. But it's fine. Ask Ilebogeng. Malapan. Uti Bralungile. Please ask Xoli this. There are many projects where he's music director, and he plays piano. And also there are quite a number of those which as an MD, he chooses to put himself on second keyboards. Two of the projects I remember is Thuli's recording at State Theatre a few years ago, and the Redeemed recording that was supposed to happen. So the question is, hey, it looks like it's a long one, this one. As an MD, what informs his decision to either put himself on first or second keys? That's the first question.
Okay.
Oh, that's the only question, actually. Sorry.
That's the only question, yes. Like, but he was just making
references. No, but it's important. What he said is very important.
Look, I think if I were to answer directly to those instances, those two recordings, it was an issue. The first one, the Thuli one, Joseph asked me to produce. Joseph was called to produce that album, but then he asked me to take over the production. I don't want to say the reason behind that, but I think it was an issue of I'm more experienced with a lot of different types of singers. So and so he really wanted me to help with this one. So he gave me the production, but he was still part of the band, so he played piano. Okay. I think everyone knows, I wouldn't want to play piano when Joseph is here. He's our piano player.
Yes, he's the producer's piano player.
Yes, he's our piano player. So I'm not touching piano when he's there,
Yeah.
To the Redeemed recording, which is still going to happen. He's playing piano. He's been playing piano with Redeemed for all the years. I came in later as a keyboard player when Gamma was not available and all of that. So when I was asked to direct the show, I was just a music director. You can direct from keyboards if you know what you're doing. So obviously then was an issue of saying, look, he's there and he's an amazing piano player. And he knows Redeemed sound more than all of us there. So I was just there to direct because we had a lot of musicians that needed to be directed, just to bring in order, pretty much. We had amazing musicians, actually, not just, we had real amazing musicians there. High end. But I just needed to come in and bring order when it comes to the music, and obviously direct the artists themselves and the singers, just to be the bridge between,
Yeah.
So, but in general, I'm actually now starting to do directing off stage. I feel there's amazing talent. There's a crazy, amazing pianists and keyboard players who are out there, and I feel they should do all my productions. I don't need to play anymore, actually. That's just my thinking.
That's dope. My second last question, third last question. I'm not sure. Lee, are you still here? Because I think he had a problem with hearing me.
Yeah.
Hearing us. Oh, you're here. Do you have any question? Or should I
just went somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think you've covered what I wanted to ask, but I see more of your work in being a producer. I'm sure you've talked about it when I was lost. But how was that? How was that for you? Like your first task at being a producer? Did you know that you just wanted to be a producer?
Look, when I got to Joburg, I got exposed to a lot of gigs at the time because I was really fluent in that's not the right word, actually. I had an opportunity to do a lot of gigs. So a lot of people liked me because I was versatile, doing organ, strings, and piano, and all of that. So I did a lot of those type of gigs. So as I'm busy performing and seeing other people coming in and telling us what to do, I felt like, no, man, this is what I want to do. I kept on seeing producers coming in. Twins and Number, I worked with him. I saw how he does his rehearsals. He's conducted his rehearsals. I felt, no, man, this is what I wanted to do. And I had a long discussion with Bishop Dube, obviously, about the music thing. I mean, I used to stay at his house. So we spoke, but no, man, the thing you're supposed to be doing is producing, because he saw that gift as well. And obviously meeting Abom Jakes, after that meeting Obama, I saw what they were doing. So there's something like this. I mean, Jakes and Kama and Bafana Nkos, those are the people that taught me production. I didn't know that I can actually record near laptop. I saw it at their house when they were doing projects. I was like, what is this? No, this is where we record now. Because when I came in, Dave was in charge. Dave was recording a band, with tapes.
It was back
then.
There's a laptop, you can record into the laptop and all of that. So they exposed me to that. That's when the production thing started. And this is where we are now.
Cool. Lee, how many more questions? Sorry.
This is the last one. So the producing comes with responsibility, I take it, because you have to be responsible to lead people and to tell them what to do.
You know what? I don't know how to answer that. I always get that question. I know that's not a question, but it's a statement of saying it comes with a lot of responsibility. I'm telling you, that's the most difficult job actually for me in the music space, because the other flip part that you guys don't see is that if I'm the music director and I'm the producer and I have 15 days of rehearsals, I have to be happy all the time when I come to those rehearsals. I have to forget about my emotions because I need to come there and lead people. So your character, sometimes you put it aside. You put aside your personal things that are hurting, even when you're having an off day. You have to be right because you've got 20, 30 people who are sitting here listening to you that you have to direct. And dealing with their egos, food. Khona ba papaya, khona ba delelayo la fana hlelo wena umuntu right yabo. Abanye beza bacomplaina la kuwe, abanye bakuthona ama text ebusuku nama reasons wamanga ukuthi umntwana uyagula akeze rehearsals, akeze rehearsal ubani ugwaziwe umntwana kalala. So you are always a recipient of a lot of excuses and drama and all of those and bad energies. Omunye bamthukile texini uza la kuwe ukwatile already. So that job comes with a lot of emotions and it needs a strong character. So it is a very important task, number one. And number two, you must remember that when you are called the producer, when I kept on saying that you are handling someone else's dream, it's not just only the dream as well. It's the money they saved for years that you are responsible for now.
Amen.
So now, Leroy, I'm going to ask you a question now. When someone has saved for all these years, saving to do this recording with their last money, are you saying you are ready? I should book you when you don't even practice your drums. I must book you to come and play here and waste someone's money practice.
In the name of creating opportunities.
In the name of creating opportunities.
Hey. Yeah, you must be responsible.
Because I must be responsible. Number two, I need to be responsible about their songs and knowing whether these songs are going to sell. Are these songs relevant? Is this song ready to? Is the artist ready to even stand in front of people? But obviously, we always say they're ready because they're paying.
They have to be ready.
But my question again, in the name of exposing and bringing up musicians, are you worthy of the gig?
And plugging them in.
Please plug me in. Please give me the gig. Do you even practice?
Yeah.
But my talents are maning. I don't have to play as a producer. I have a lot of musicians who are tight, who can come in and play. But I'm saying, when you are asking for the gig, are you worthy of this gig? So I'm saying the producer, me today. This is not the perfect time to talk about it. We need an episode and call other producers.
We've got so many other questions, and now I'm having to cut a lot of these questions that I've got for time. I don't know how I can compress them. I'll tell you all of them and maybe try to be very quick, because so that we don't leave them. I'll go very quickly. I wanted to know, Wuti, what's the one experience that gave you your most valuable lesson? If you can answer that very quickly. One experience that happened, it doesn't have to be musical, or it can be musical. One thing that happened that gave you your most valuable lesson.
Let me put it in the music thing because we're in the instrumentalist. I see but that I'm going to take long.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of them, but I think maybe the one that I can just hit quickly is standing on stage with my band and my singers who are there to help me to record my album. And I'm seeing that going down the drain because of lack of proper information and on how to do things and being lied to. I stood there seeing that after I've booked 2 days with the last money I had to record my album, and my album was not going to happen. From that day, my thinking changed in music on how I help other people to record their albums, even when they've tried and they're failing right at the door. I mean, my recording, we had an issue of Dante and all of that. My recording wasn't going to happen. And we were left with 4 hours to do this thing. So that day, that's when I started to be not just a producer now, to be the production manager now. Everything I handle, everything is handled by me. If you come to me, you want me to do your DVD, you don't call any of your friends. I call the people that I work with and that are reputable, that I know that when they get here, we are going to come out with a recording. That is why I guess some people, when they talk about me, they say I'm expensive. I'm not expensive. It's easier to work with me than to have 15 different codes who are coming from different places and everyone says they can do this thing. Name one time on Lulu in the music industry you've had one musician say they can't do something. All of them, they can. And that's why people come to me now, even now. I mean, you know, I get projects every week that I didn't even produce, that were recorded somewhere else. That
you're trying to fix.
To come and fix them.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm fixing them is because of having 15 different codes. This one is doing lighting, this one is doing cabling, this one is doing this one is doing this.
Yeah.
So recording yako, you don't have one person who's a production manager who knows what he's doing. Because I've lost people's monies, no matter DVD. And people thinking, DVD. You know, when you see 500,000 being deposited into your account to handle the whole entire project, and then one thing goes wrong in the audio, that means you don't have a DVD at all.
500,000 gone.
That means 500,000 is gone because I didn't intend to take 500,000.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I'm glad that I learned in recording how my career now is supposed to go going forward. And from there, I was the production manager for a lot of DVDs. I mean, you remember Dumi's DVD, Love and Grace. I handled most of the technicals there. I did a lot of Mashaba. I did a lot of DVDs after that. That's when I changed it now. From now on, when you come to me, I don't want you to bring your uncle because most of you you come here and say, I need to record. My uncle is one who's funding. But now uncle now is so vocal as if he knows
my ideas.
My ideas. And my ideas like I was saying, you allows us chase us in a band. So the lesson I learned there was like, yo, I need to know my game. I need to know what I'm doing. You know, you can't just be a producer only. You need to grow in levels.
My brother, you must come back.
But I fix
because now I'm trying to have us run through these things. No, but I couldn't stop you. I couldn't stop you because that was valuable. I wanted to know. So the last 2 questions, bro. What is your dream for the industry?
I've got too many dreams.
Just for the industry, as the industry. Ipupulako for the industry.
Okay, let me narrow it. I see a popular industry. I think for now, le gospel industry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
and I'm saying this in comparison to my pianos, to
Everything.
other
Hip hop.
everything actually, yeah. I wish we could get to a level where I see more genuine relationships between artists and collaborations specifically. And when I say that, I mean other artists, they've got this thing of doing a song that they know it's not in their space. Kanti ngabe uyayithatha le ngoma uyinikeze umuntu ose-space insayo akwenzele imali.
Nengoma yakho.
So I'm talking collaborations from songwriting, from everything. If I can see that genuine thing and really being really nice to each other. And again, collaboration and respect between music producers and musicians as well. And another thing, we don't have to, just because you're a keyboard player doesn't mean you're a producer.
Sure.
Or a bass player can be an amazing producer. The bass player can be a good music director for the gig. But now, because you are playing piano, now you think that you have it. Sometimes just give someone else who's got a stronger character to lead people to do that. For me, that's what music directing is all about.
But now imali I lose.
Yeah, but now that's what I'm saying. You know, when the gig comes, then everyone wants to direct because then they're gonna get more money when they direct and all of that. But I feel if you are true to yourself and know that you're not good at this, give it to the next person to do it for you.
Hallelujah.
Then rather have a discussion in Mali on the side to say, this was supposed to be my gig, but we direct and then let's share the money. Find a way, find a nicer way. But we are not all producers.
Sure, true.
Yeah, 100%. Getting more money from the gig doesn't make you the actual producer.
All right. I must ask my last question. But before my last question, when are you releasing your music? I mean, I think, to be honest, that first one had a lot of great, what's the word, reception. It was very warm receptions. But I think I'm asking for a lot of people. I was thinking they were going to ask it, they didn't ask it. When are you releasing your next EP or song, single, or album? So yeah, I want to know, do you have any idea? Yeah. We are you're making your business being Santa Claus here. You're making other dreams come true.
I'm busy on my dreams. Let me tell you now, my EP has been ready for the past 3 months.
Okay.
The music is there, it's recorded. Not mixed, but I mean, mixing can take like 4 days. You know, I need to release an EP. We've been talking about it. In fact, we've even added more songs now. I've got new songs that are on the table as well that are not recorded, that are recorded actually, sorry. They are recorded, but not mixed. So I don't know when I'm releasing, but that is ready. I mean, I think let's just check out the space. I think I can drop this thing anytime. Even tonight I can post it.
Hey.
In fact, even the poster is done, is designed.
Hey.
Actually.
Mama busy na post.
Poster dala yenziwa unkosikazi uhlakanipheka kakhulu.
Yeah.
Hey, lalela ukwenza uPopeye lapha. Umnandi kakhulu.
Lalela-ke, sesivala. If you were to go back to your young self, let's say your 12-year-old self, what advice would you give Xoli Thabethe?
Be a plumber.
Be a plumber.
No.
Be a what?
Plumber.
I think the advice I would go back and just give myself is it's just to say, look, it's not going to be easy. Seeing all the challenges that I went through, I think I'll go back and say, bro, it's not going to be easy. So you got to push harder. I still feel if I had pushed harder and did all the things that I wanted to do back then and I didn't do them, and I still look back and sit here, I think I should have done it. I think I would go back and say, look, go pursue those things.
Okay.
I mean, there was a time where I even wanted to go to Durban and study at Durban. where all these guys are coming from. You know, I really wanted to do that. I still feel maybe if I get a chance, if I get a chance, maybe I would. But sana skati manje ngoba sesibhizi corona manje.
Xoli Thabethe, thank you very much, my brother. It was a lovely one.
Corona manje, so it's not this name. My project maningi.
Exactly. I think it was a beautiful one.
Yeah, guys. No, thank you.
For your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for having me. And I think I know that some of our friends are going to watch this broadcast. So the only thing I can say is I wish that we could find other ways of working with each other without putting the money thing on the table. Cool. I feel the money thing is the one that is messing up relationships. Let's reevaluate that between our relations. And it's not easy. The industry is still a bit shady, Wamanje, and it's not late to start a new career as well. If you are thinking about it, I wouldn't say to you, don't leave music. You can go study and do other things. I think it would be an amazing thing as well, as long as you're going to look at it as a new chapter. Do that. The music thing will always be here. Try other things if you want to try them. If you still want to do the music thing, let's just get onto it and find ways to help each other achieve what we want to achieve. So, yeah, let's push, man.
Thank you, Thabethe. What are your handles? Quickly.
Follow him.
Follow me.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, what are your handles?
It's
Facebook. Xoli Thabethe everywhere.
Everywhere, Xoli Thabethe.
No? Sibongile mfowethu, it was a lovely one.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll talk soon, yeah?
Thank you, Buti.
Amen.